Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Tuesday, May the 18th. We got a little two-game slate for Tuesday. These are the two play-in tournament games for the Eastern Conference. We have the two Eastern Conference play-in games are today on Tuesday, and then the two Western Conference play-in games are on Wednesday. So we're going to have a two-game slate Tuesday. We're going to have a two-game slate Wednesday. And then I'm not exactly sure what the schedule is going to look like after that. But the playoffs do officially start Saturday. Obviously, I haven't really been making videos lately. I didn't upload it all during the weekend for those final 2 days of the regular season. I really felt like there was no point to make videos then, just because, I make all my videos the night before. We just had no idea who was going to play over the weekend with teams resting starters. Like, you just had no idea who was going to play, who wasn't going to play. So uploading early videos then just really made no sense to me. Decided to take the weekend off. Obviously, there was no games on Monday, so I didn't upload on Monday either. But we're back for Tuesday slate. We'll be back to ramping up the content. I'll have a video up for Tuesday slate. Obviously, I'll be streaming again Tuesday afternoon. I'll be streaming Wednesday for the two gamer on Wednesday as well. And then we'll see what the schedule is. I'm not exactly sure when the playoffs get here, like if there's going to be day games. I really have no idea, but we'll see. We'll cover these two games though for Tuesday. Talk about Charlotte, Indiana, and Washington, Boston. Now, for those of you that don't know, just really quickly for the play-in games. So the 7 and 8 seed will be playing each other. I believe the 7 and 8 seed are Washington and Boston. So those two teams will play each other. The winner of that game will be in the playoffs and will get the 7 seed. Then between Charlotte and Indiana, whoever wins that game will face the loser of Washington, Boston. And then obviously Charlotte, Indiana, whoever loses that game is just done for the season. So we're gonna have the winners of the 7-8 game, and then the winner of the 9-10 game and the loser of the 7-8 game are going to play each other. I'm pretty sure on Thursday or Friday, and we might have like a 2-game slate for then. So we'll talk about that when that day comes. But for now, we're going to cover Tuesday's two gamer. Obviously, it's going to be a pretty quick video. We're just going to go game by game. We're just going to talk about each team on the slate. I will try and go a little bit more in depth, just because on a 2-game slate like this, you have to get a little bit off the board. Guys that you would normally not play are viable on a 2-game slate just because we are limited with our options. So we'll kind of run through everything, just what I see for these 2 games. But before we get started with the breakdown, guys, as always, I would appreciate it if you would click that like button down below. If you are new to the channel here, be sure to click that subscribe button as well, and also hit the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload. You also do get notified every time I live stream. I will be back with a live stream Tuesday afternoon. I'll be live, around normal time, 4:30 Eastern. If you guys do want to come and hang out, I'll be talking through the slate again with you guys. I really don't expect much to change because now that the playoffs are here, we're not going to see guys get rested or anything. So we'll kind of just be repeating a lot of stuff on Tuesday, but I'll be around to answer questions. If you do have any questions about this slate, be sure to tune into the live stream Tuesday, and I can answer all of them there. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the first game of the night, Charlotte, Indiana. This game does start at 6:30 Eastern time, so just a little bit of a heads up. Lock is going to be 30 minutes earlier than normal. Normally, lock would be at 7 Eastern, but this game does start at 6:30 Eastern. We'll talk about the Charlotte side first here. So looking at Charlotte, really the only news that still matters is that Gordon Hayward's going to remain out for today. Cody Martin's going to remain out. But they have Miles Bridges back. He's off of, I think he was out for COVID protocols, but he's back with the team now. He's back to playing his full minutes. We do know that Hayward and Martin remain out, though. But starting off at the top with LaMelo, 8,100 for LaMelo today. I do like him quite a bit here. Really good matchup against the Pacers. Definitely one of the better matchups you're going to get, between these two games. The Pacers have just been a really fast-paced team this year. They haven't really been that good defensively either. LaMelo in the playoffs, I do expect to play probably more minutes than he has been lately. He's been getting around 30 to 32 minutes, but I think, with this being a must-win game for Charlotte, I think we're going to get like 35, 36 minutes from LaMelo. He definitely should play more than normal. We obviously know LaMelo is a very high upside player, a guy that has, just a lot of upside, can stuff the stat sheet, can do a little bit of everything. Legit gives you triple-double upside. I know we haven't seen a triple-double from LaMelo in a while. I think he did have a triple-double really early in the season, but he really hasn't had one since then. But this is a guy that can score, can rebound, can get assists. He can also get you steals. He can get some defensive stats. I do like LaMelo a lot here at 8,100. And I think he's definitely my favorite play from Charlotte. He's a guy that I'm going to be looking to on both sides. He's $32 on Yahoo. I do like him a lot over there as well. Will note that Yahoo, their main slate for today is actually going to be a 4-game slate, and it includes the 2 games tomorrow. I figure, like, I'm probably not going to play that. I'm probably just going to play the 2-gamer. I just don't like playing slates where you have, games on the next day, like you have to wait. So, me personally, even though the main slate is 4 games for Yahoo and it includes the 2 games tomorrow, I think I'm just going to play the 2-gamer, with the 2 Tuesday games. So, in that, obviously I do like LaMelo for $32. So, LaMelo is someone I'm definitely looking to on both sides now. For cheaper, you do have Terry Rozier at $7,700. Don't mind Rozier. We know Rozier, a little bit more scoring dependent than a guy like LaMelo is, but he has been chipping in with peripherals lately. He did get 9 rebounds and 9 assists last game against Washington. I expect the minutes to be higher for Rozier. Like, Rozier is probably going to play close to 40 minutes, whereas LaMelo might only play 35, 36 at the most. But I still definitely have interest in Rozier. Straight up, I'd prefer LaMelo, but Rozier is for sure in play on the slate. Now, PJ Washington at his price point, I'm not as high on, $7,200. Like, that just feels a little bit too much for PJ Washington. He probably gets around 30 to 32 minutes here, maybe a bit more. They're obviously going to need some size out there to guard Sabonis. I'd rather play LaMelo. I'd rather play Rozier over PJ Washington. I'd probably rather play Miles Bridges as well. $7K for Miles Bridges. We know we're going to get big minutes from him. Played 40 minutes last game against Washington. Since he's come back from, his health protocols or whatever, he's played 34 and 40 minutes. So there's really been no limits on Bridges. He should continue to produce with Gordon Hayward out. That definitely is a bump for Bridges. He's just been really good ever since Hayward went down. So, have some interest in Miles Bridges, but I would say the guards, Rozier, LaMelo, are my 2 favorites at the top. And then I do like Devontae Graham as well. Devontae Graham, $6,100. Now, he has been coming off the bench still. Rozier and LaMelo are going to start, but even coming off the bench, we've seen Devontae Graham get pretty big minutes. He played 41 minutes against the Knicks. I think that game did go to overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that game went to overtime. I can't remember, but I don't think he played 41 minutes in regulation. But last game against the Wizards, he played 31 minutes in regulation. I think, regardless, we're going to get like 30 to 32 minutes off the bench from Devontae Graham. He should continue to, be relatively productive when he's on the floor. Without Gordon Hayward, that's just more usage to go around now. 6,100, during the regular season, and, especially late in the regular season, Devontae Graham wasn't really someone I played much. But given the fact that we only have 2 games today, we're kind of limited with our options. I do have some interest in Devontae Graham at this price point. If he's going to get 30 to 32 minutes off the bench, he has the potential to give you a good score for 6,100. And I don't know what his ownership's really going to be. On a 2-game slate, you're going to see everyone's going to get ownership. But I think Devontae Graham, definitely someone I like from Charlotte as well. And on Yahoo, he looks very affordable there. Is a guy I do have a lot of interest in on Yahoo at $18. But outside the guards and then, Bridges and Washington, I don't see too much else on Charlotte. Like Jalen McDaniels for $4,900. Probably starts, plays around 30 minutes. For $4,900, he's an okay option. I'm not very confident in him, but the matchup is good. He could definitely spike his ceiling game in a good spot against the Pacers. But, I don't think I'm going to any of the bench guys. Like Cody Zeller, Bismack Biyombo. How many minutes do they actually play here? I really have no idea. You would think they're going to need size against Sabonis, so maybe they play Zeller a little bit more. I don't think I'm going to go to Cody Zeller on this slate, but center is not the best position overall, so if you do want to pay down at center, I think, Zeller makes some sense. Biyombo probably wouldn't go there. He only played 5 minutes last game. He's really just kind of been out of the rotation. Zeller's clearly been the backup. And something you are going to see with these, these play-in games and in the playoffs, you're going to see teams, really tighten their rotations. Most of these teams are probably only going to run 8-man, maybe 9-man rotations. They're really going to cut minutes, so Biyombo might not even play today. He's probably going to be out of the rotation. Don't think I'd go there. Then you have Malik Monk for $3,300. He is super cheap, which is kind of appealing, but man, it's tough to trust Malik Monk right now. He's last 4 games, he's played less than 20 minutes. He only played 6 minutes last game against the Wizards. I think he did get injured in that game though, if I'm correct. He might have got injured. I honestly can't remember, but yeah, the minutes have been trending down for Malik Monk, which is a big concern. We know he's someone that can score off the bench, can get hot. For $3,300, we don't really have any value, so if you want to take a shot on Malik Monk, I guess it's okay, but I think Devontae Graham, being healthy now is just, the minutes for the guards, it's going to be LaMelo, Rozier, Graham really getting a lot of the guard minutes, and maybe Malik Monk plays 18 to 20 minutes, but I think really from Charlotte, my 3 main interests are the guards, LaMelo, Rozier, Graham. Don't mind Miles Bridges, don't mind Jalen McDaniels, Zeller's okay, but the 3 guards are where I'm really looking to on Charlotte. Now, on the Pacers side, Sabonis is currently questionable. Brogdon's currently questionable as well. Obviously, with this being a must-win game for the Pacers, I'm assuming these guys play. I'd be very surprised if Sabonis sits here. It seems very unlikely he would in a game they have to win. And then Brogdon, he's been out for a while. He's been out for almost 3 weeks now. My best guess, though, is that Brogdon plays here, given that, they want to win this game. This is obviously like a playoff game. If they want to have a chance to get into the playoffs, they need to win this game. So I'm expecting Brogdon to play. I'm expecting Sabonis to play. If that's the case, with the team basically fully healthy, obviously Miles Turner remains out. But Sabonis at 10K, I do like quite a bit today. I think he is my favorite pay-up option on this slate. Like, even if Brogdon plays here, I don't think that impacts Sabonis enough to where he should be, like, really downgraded. Obviously, LeVert's going to take a big hit if Brogdon returns, but Sabonis should still go out there and continue to produce. Without Miles Turner, with Sabonis playing all of his minutes at center, like, he's just so productive when he gets, center minutes. His rebounds go up, and you've kind of seen that these last few games, like 16, 13, 20 rebounds. His assists have been going up. I think a big reason because of that is, with Brogdon being out, maybe his assists go down a little bit if Brogdon returns, but we know Sabonis is a very high upside guy. He's a guy that's going to play massive minutes. I like the matchup against Charlotte. Charlotte's been a team I've always kind of picked on with bigs down low, so I definitely like Sabonis here at 10K. I think he is my favorite pay-up option on the slate right now. And I do like him a good amount on Yahoo as well at $50. He's my favorite pacer for sure. If Brogdon plays, then I don't really have a ton of interest in Brogdon or LeVert at their price points. LeVert's been a guy that I've played a lot lately when Brogdon's been out, but assuming Brogdon returns, no interest in LeVert. And then if Brogdon returns, I really have no interest in McConnell either at his price tag. And then these fringe guys, like, normally I would not go to these guys when the Pacers pretty much are fully healthy, but on a two-game slate, you can maybe play like a Doug McDermott, hope he gets hot. He's a very scoring-dependent player, but he has been playing well lately. He's been getting the minutes. He's played at least 28 minutes in 4 straight games. For 4,400, like I said, we don't really have a ton of value today, so I don't mind McDermott as a, like a secondary option. Clearly, Sabonis is my favorite play from Indiana. McDermott, I think, is just, an okay secondary option. Outside of that, though, that probably does it for the Pacers. If Brogdon plays today, I don't have much interest in too many guys outside of Sabonis. Maybe, McDermott you could go to, but I think Brogdon returning hurts LeVert, it hurts McConnell. It's going to hurt guys like Justin Holiday and Keelan Martin as well. Who knows if, like a guy like Keelan Martin, we don't even know if he's going to play here. Like, do they cut him out of the rotation? Obviously these teams are going to run very tight rotations in the playoffs. So, yeah, I think that does it for the Pacers. We can go ahead and move on to the next game, talk about the last game of the night, the Wizards and the Celtics. So on the Wizards side here, normally when this team is fully healthy, I don't really play a ton of Wizards outside of Westbrook and Beal, but on a two-game slate, we are going to have to talk about some of these secondary pieces from Washington. We will start off at the top, though, with Westbrook and Beal. So Westbrook, 12,400. I mean, it's hard not to like Westbrook here. I think with Bradley Beal, now fully healthy, obviously Westbrook's not going to be a guy that puts up 80, 90 DraftKings points a night, but we know Westbrook still has triple-double upside. Even in that game against Charlotte, he triple-doubled in that game, had 62 DK points, played 40 minutes. We know Westbrook here in a must-win game is going to play probably 40, 42 minutes. Hell, he might even play more than that. So, yeah, Westbrook's a good option. It's just, 12,400. That's a lot for Westbrook, especially now that Beal is back. I don't want to say that Westbrook's overpriced, but I think he is priced pretty correctly. If he was like 11K today, he'd be my favorite stud, but given the discount you get dropping down to Sabonis, and given that we don't really have a ton of value, it's going to be tough to pay up for Westbrook. I think I do prefer Sabonis with the savings. Now, Bradley Beal at 9K, I don't think I can get to at this price point. Like, I haven't played Beal much at all, especially, with his price being where it is. He's just not a guy I feel like I ever have to pay 9K for. He's viable, though, because it is a two-game slate. We just don't have a lot of options. Like, I think on Yahoo, that's where Bradley Beal looks a lot better, just because you look at the small forward position, it's really bad. I mean, you have Bradley Beal, you have Evan Fournier, you have Justin Holiday, and then that's it. Like, you're not playing any of these $10 guys. Maybe Edmund Sumner you could play if he's in, but like, you really have three small forwards to play on Yahoo, Beal, Fournier, Holiday. So I think Beal looks a lot better on Yahoo, just given that you have to play a small forward, and he's one of the few small forwards available there. On DraftKings with the dual positional eligibility, I don't think Beal's as necessary, but at least, a decent option. I'd much rather play Westbrook, though, if I can somehow find the salary. But like Rui at 5K, with Beal returning, I think that definitely, hurts Rui. But still, he's going to play 33, 34 minutes here. He's only 5K. Could you get 30 DK points from Rui and he'd be, in the winning lineup? That could absolutely happen. I don't mind Rui today, just given that, he looks like an okay mid-range option for a guy that's going to play around 32 to 34 minutes. We're just kind of, looking for guys that can get us like 5 to 6x. Normally, 5 to 6x is not good enough on a normal slate, but on a two-gamer, like if you get 5x from Rui, if he puts up 25 DK points, like that could be good enough. Just because I don't think we're going to see a ton of guys smash today. Obviously, scores are not nearly going to be as high as they have been, these last few slates. We've had just a ton of value these last few regular season days just because there's been so many teams resting. That's not the case today. You're basically getting most of these teams full strength. These teams are going to run tight rotations. They're not going to be playing a lot of these bench guys. So, it's going to be tough to find value. A lot of these 5K, 6K guys that can give you 5, maybe 6X are going to look a lot more appealing than they would on a normal slate. Obviously, Rui, one of those guys. But outside of Rui, Beal, Westbrook, I think Daniel Gafford's someone I'm going to be looking to today. 3,700. I have no idea how many minutes Daniel Gafford plays. I mean, his minutes have just been all over the place. Like, you look his last 10 games, I mean, he's played at least 20 minutes in 3 of those 10 games. He's played at least 14 minutes in every game. So, I would say at minimum, you're going to get like 15, 16 minutes from Daniel Gafford. If he's playing really well, he could definitely play more than that. He's clearly been the Wizards' best center. Like, I don't know why he's not playing more minutes at this point. Maybe with the play-in tournament here and the playoffs approaching, with this being a must-win game for the Wizards, maybe we see Robin Lopez cut out of the rotation. Maybe Alex Len doesn't start. Like, I really don't know what the Wizards are going to do here, but Daniel Gafford, I think, is someone that should be getting minutes for Washington. He's a high-upside guy, and I think if I'm going to play value plays on this slate that maybe I don't have a ton of confidence in, I at least want to play guys that I know have upside. Like, we know Daniel Gafford only needs 25, or not 25, but he only needs like 15 minutes to put up 25 DK points. Like, he's a guy that just can be super productive when he's on the floor. Even if he plays 15 minutes, like, he could still give you a decent score for 3,700. And if he somehow plays more than that, like if he gets 20 to 22 minutes, he could be a guy that you kind of have to have on a short 2-game slate. So, and when you look at the center position, this is another thing I want to mention. Center's just not that great. I mean, Sabonis you can play at center, which I think is what a lot of people are going to do, but 7,200, I don't really want to pay that for PJ Washington. With the Pacers fully healthy, I really don't have much interest in O'Shea Brissett. I think Rui's an okay play. We're going to talk about these other bigs like Tristan Thompson and maybe maybe a Robert Williams if he plays. But yeah, center's kind of gross. I think taking a shot on Daniel Gafford, just hoping he gets like 20 minutes. I think it's something I'm definitely going to be looking to do today, especially in tournaments. Now in cash games, that might not be a way to go, but I don't think really anyone's playing cash on a 2-game slate anyway. So I do like Daniel Gafford here. Taking a shot on him, just hoping he gets more than normal minutes, which is totally possible. Maybe they cut out, I think that they might cut, Robin Lopez or Alex Len out of the rotation here. I'd be surprised if all 3 centers play, just given that, teams are going to be tightening up their rotations. You're going to see the starters play big minutes. You're going to see a lot of the bench guys be cut out. So I think maybe we get a few more minutes from Daniel Gafford. He's a guy that has upside. He's someone I'm definitely interested in from this Washington team. Like I said, even if things go wrong and he only plays like 13, 15 minutes, like he could still give you 20 DK points in that time. If I'm going to be taking a shot on a guy that I don't, that I think is risky, if I'm playing a cheap guy that's risky, I want to at least play a cheap guy that has upside, and Daniel Gafford is, one of those guys that has upside. So I do like him. I like Westbrook. I like Beal. I have some interest in Rui. I don't know if I'm going to anyone else on the Wizards, though. Like Davis Bertans probably comes off the bench, plays 25 to 30 minutes. He's scoring dependent. We haven't really seen a ton of big games from Bertans. I mean, you look at his last 10 games, his best game is 25.5 DK points. Like, this is someone that doesn't, or 27, doesn't have massive upside, but again, we don't really have much value today. If you want to play Bertans as a cheap option for 4,200, I don't mind it, but I think that does it for Washington. I think we basically covered everyone on this team that I have interest in. So, other side of this game, we'll talk about the Celtics real quick before we do end the video. So, the Celtics are a team that, towards the end of the regular season, that we saw them, resting a lot of guys, but they're basically going to be fully healthy today. Tatum, Kemba, Smart, Fournier are all playing. Obviously, Jaylen Brown is still out, so that definitely impacts some of these guys, which we will talk about. Robert Williams, though, is probable, so I'm expecting him to play. He's been out there last few games, I believe, but he is expected to play today. He's probable. We'll start off at the top, though. Tatum, Kemba, Fournier. So without Jaylen Brown, with him done for the season, obviously Tatum, Kemba, they both benefit. Tatum at 9,800, it's a really good matchup against the Wizards. He obviously has massive upside here. I expect Tatum to play huge minutes. He should get around 40 minutes, if not more than that, if this game stays close, which it should. But he is very closely priced to Sabonis, and I think just straight up, I would rather play Sabonis over Tatum today. But Tatum is a pretty good pay-up option here, and I think, at 9,800, he does maybe still feel a little bit too cheap. There is much more upside for Tatum than normal when you do take a high-usage guy like Jaylen Brown off the floor. So don't mind Tatum. I think Kemba looks pretty appealing as well as a mid-range point guard option in a good matchup against the Wizards in a must-win game. I think we get 35 to 40 minutes from Kemba, probably towards the top of that. He probably plays like 38 to 40. Definitely have interest in Kemba at 7,300. Him and Tatum, I think, do look pretty appealing today. Evan Fournier, I'm not as interested in at 6K. I think with Kemba and Tatum, fully healthy, I expect, those two guys to really dominate the usage. Fournier has been playing really well lately. He did have that stretch where he was just smashing, put up 51 against Miami, 44 the game after that. He's kind of come back down to earth these last few games, but obviously, with this being the playoffs or, a chance to make the playoffs, I do expect big minutes from Fournier. I expect him to take, 10 to 15 shots. At 6K, he's for sure viable. I would rather play Fournier, though, or I would rather play Kemba. I would rather play Tatum. And then Marcus Smart, 5,800. I don't think a ton of people are going to play Marcus Smart today. He's never someone that gets much ownership, especially when this team is fully healthy. But I do like Marcus Smart quite a bit here. I think this is one of those, I don't really look too much into matchups and this team is playing the Wizards. How are they going to use Marcus Smart against the Wizards? But I think in the play-in tournament and in the playoffs, matchups do matter a little bit more, looking into how teams are going to use a player, and I think Marcus Smart's going to be someone they need here. He's obviously a great defender. They're going to need him out there defending Bradley Beal, defending Russell Westbrook. I expect Smart to also play massive minutes, probably get around 40 minutes if this is a close game. For 5,800, he feels priced appropriately. I don't think he's a glaring value or anything, but we definitely could get 35, 36 DK points from Smart, or 30 to 35 DK points from him. And again, I think if you get 5 to maybe 6x from a guy, that could be good enough. You're not going to need, Marcus Smart, for him to be in the winning lineup tonight, he's not going to have to put up 45 DK points. If Marcus Smart goes for 36 DK points, he could easily be in the winning lineup. So at 5,800, I do like Marcus Smart quite a bit. I think he goes pretty overlooked today. I don't see many people playing him at all. So he's someone I do like from this Boston team. As I said, I think they're going to need him out there to defend Beal and Westbrook. I think he's going to have to play a ton of minutes. And I do like Marcus Smart on Yahoo as well at the shooting guard position. Again, I don't think he's going to really get any ownership there. You look, Terry Rozier's $31. I think a lot of people are just going to play Terry Rozier, which, Rozier is probably the better play overall. But for the ownership discount, trying to get a little different on a 2-game slate, I do like Marcus Smart over on Yahoo as well. And then we'll talk about the bigs real quick. So Robert Williams is probable. They still have Tristan Thompson, obviously. With Robert Williams probable, I'm not sure what Boston's going to do with the starting lineup. I don't know if they're going to start Robert Williams. I don't know if they're going to start Tristan Thompson. I expect you see a pretty even split in the minutes between these two guys. Maybe whoever starts plays a few more than the other. So if Robert Williams starts, he maybe plays 25 minutes, 26 minutes, and then you get 22, 23 minutes from Tristan Thompson, or it could be the other way around. I think for me, I'm going to wait on the starting lineup. If Robert Williams is starting today, I do like him a lot for 5,200. He's not someone I'm really mentioned at center, but if he is starting in a good matchup against the Wizards, we know Robert Williams has a ton of upside. We know he's a really good point per minute player. He hasn't been that good lately. The minutes haven't been as high as you would like, but on a 2-game slate, Robert Williams is someone that can go out there and just break the slate. Robert Williams could put up 40 DK points in 25 minutes tonight, and I would not be surprised. So if he's back in the starting lineup, I do like him a lot at 5,200. If they go with Tristan Thompson in the starting lineup, I think Tristan Thompson's an okay play. You could obviously play Williams too, even if he comes off the bench. I wouldn't play those guys together, but even if Williams starts, Thompson's still viable. He still gets probably 22 to 23 minutes. If Thompson starts, Williams is still viable, but I would have more confidence in whichever guy starts between the two. So I do want to see what they do with the starting lineup. You can just, if you're making your lineup, you can just play Williams, and then if he winds up not starting, you can just swap to Thompson or vice versa. I'd just play Williams, though, and then just hope he starts. So that way, if he doesn't start, you have you're able to swap to Thompson. Whereas if you have Thompson in your lineup, you're going to have to leave $400 on the table to get up to Robert Williams. So if Robert Williams starts, just quickly summarizing it up, I do like him a lot as a $5,200 center. He would probably be one of my favorite centers on the slate, up there with Daniel Gafford. But outside of the starters, outside of the main guys, Tatum, Kemba, Fournier, Smart, Thompson, Williams, I don't know if I can go to any of these bench guys. Peyton Pritchard, he's been priced up to 4,300 now. He probably still plays 15 to 20 minutes, but I don't have much interest in him. I have no idea how the minutes are spread out between guys like Pritchard and Naismith. So I think I'm just going to focus on the main guys from Boston. I don't think I'm really going to look to the bench guys on this team. Normally, I don't really play the bench guys when this team is fully healthy, and even on a 2-game slate, I don't think I'm looking to any of these guys off the bench. So, besides Thompson, but that really does it for the Boston side, and that does it for both the 2 games for today, guys. So, I hope you did enjoy this breakdown. I try and go, as in depth as possible. I basically tried to talk about, everyone that I thought was playable. Maybe I skipped over someone that you like. Obviously, you can comment that, or you can comment them down below in the comment section. I do try and reply to every comment. I will be streaming this afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, around 4:30 Eastern time. So if you want to come and hang out, talk through, or I'll be talking through the slate with you guys. As always, I can answer your questions in the live stream Tuesday if you do have any. But best of luck, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. As always, I hope you did enjoy. Good luck on the short slate. We'll be back Wednesday with another 2-gamer. Hope to see you guys then. Good luck tonight. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.